Hi everyone, and welcome to the first topic this month in September. I'm going to talk about a concept that life isn't supposed to feel good all of the time. And I know that somehow most people think that we are entitled to feel good all of the time. Somehow we got this idea that we are supposed to feel good all of the time. And if we don't, there is something wrong with us, there's something wrong with the life that we're living, or there's something, uh, we're doing something wrong, and so on. Something is not right because we're meant to feel good all of the time. And the solution to that, for many of us, if you're watching this, you're probably one of them, is eating. For me, it was eating sugar. For you, it might be sugar, it might be some other sort of processed food, or whatever it is. But we're hiding behind the food because that will make us feel better so that we feel good more of the time, which is what we think we should feel like. But I want to offer you that this is not actually the case, because we're human. So let me just tell you a little bit about what's been going on in my life the last 6 months, or 18 months actually, not 6. So about 18 months ago, obviously started a little bit before that, I got rid of most of my things. I sold a few of them, but I threw a lot of them away. I sold my house and I used up pretty much all of my savings to ship myself and my 2 dogs over from the UK to New Zealand. So I pretty much dug up my whole life, used up all my money that I had that wasn't actually invested in the house that I had. Thank God I had that money. And just went to New Zealand with my partner. During these 18 months, I have moved 4 times. I have had 3 different jobs. And a few months ago, I quit my last job, which was a well-paid job, to move down to a house on the west coast, which I have invested my money from the house sale in the UK into. So I bought a house, and now I'm here. I'm fortunate enough to have my partner. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to quit my job, and I wouldn't have done it if there hadn't been another source of income. And so fortunately, he is making enough money online to actually pay the mortgage. But there isn't a lot of money on top of that. So I'm extremely fortunate to be able to do this. I am here, I'm supporting him, I'm helping him building his business, but I'm also focusing on building my business and getting back into coaching, because I had a few years where, since I moved from the UK, I haven't really been coaching a lot, which is something that I really love doing, and I always thought I'm going to get back into it. And now I have a different area that I'm coaching in, because I have finally been able to quit sugar, and I never thought that I could. So I want to share this with pretty much everyone. Okay, let's be honest. I want to share it with everyone. So I have had a lot of time that I could invest in building this free membership site where you might be watching this video, or if you're not, then sign up for it. There's lots of free material on there on how to quit sugar or quit anything and manage your cravings. And soon I'm going to start advertising more of my services, and I'm just going to actually treat this as a business and run it from there so that I can help even more people. And all of this is really exciting, and on top of that, I love living this type of life because I have the freedom to choose what to do and when to do it. And that's not something that everyone gets to do in their life. Some people they don't really want it, or they're not able to handle it very well. But I love having this freedom. So during winter here, it's raining a lot, and I can just, when it's a gap in the rain, I can, most of the time, unless I have an appointment, I can just take the dogs and go for a walk when it's not raining. And I don't have to worry about leaving them on their own at home, because I'm here most of the time, and all of that. And I'm also really, really happy, and I'm proud of myself for having been able to quit sugar, because I never even thought that this would be a possibility for me. So all of these things are big positives in my life. But So it might sound like I have it all, but I still have problems. And unfortunately, we are humans. Humans are designed to find problems. We're designed to seek out new problems so that we can improve our lives. Okay? So no matter what's happening, you will always have a new set of problems when you solve the old set of problems. So whereas I wouldn't change my life for anything, I wouldn't want to go back and have it as it was before. I do not regret doing what I've done, but I have problems. I have less money to live off than when I was a student, because I don't really have any much income right now. And we still have expenses, obviously. We have to eat, we have to pay the mortgage, I have dogs to take care of, and vet bills for one of the dogs. So that's obviously something that is costing money, and it's putting some pressure on me, it's putting some pressure on my partner. And then obviously there are lots of things with building this membership portal and doing all the things that I need to do in order to advertise my services that are techie and, in my opinion, boring, that I don't really want to do. I'm not really that excited about writing certain type of copy. I don't want to sound salesy, because as much as I want to make an income, I want people to come to me because they want the help to quit, not because I'm trying to sell my services onto them. So all of this makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. There's something that I have to work with, but I still perceive it as a problem. It's something that is in the way. I don't particularly enjoy these techie bits that I have to learn. I never thought, oh yes, I want to learn these things. So there's nothing there that I'm actually looking forward to. I'm also wondering how long it's going to take before I have enough money to actually go on holiday again. Because that looks like it's quite far away right now. How long is it going to take before we can afford to fix this house up that we wanted to do when we bought it, because we got it really cheap, because it's not in the best condition. So although I'm quite happy about my life, I still have my problems. And life is not just sunshine and unicorns. It is 50-50. So no matter how rich you are, whether you have your dream job, you have just married your dream woman or dream man, you will still have problems. And you might look on social media and you see other people and it looks like they have the perfect life and they're just posting all the positive things in their lives, so you don't even see what's beneath this. You don't see the problems that they are having because they don't share them with you on social media. But the truth is that everyone has problems, no matter where they are in life or what they have. So I want to tell you that there isn't a single person that doesn't have problems. And that's what we humans do. We do look for problems to solve, to improve our lives. And I'm not saying this to discourage you from evolving and living a better life, if you like, or taking better care of yourself. I'm saying this because I don't want you to chase the happiness and think, once I've been able to quit sugar, I will be happy. Or once I've lost 10 kilos, I will feel so much more happy and everything will be sunshine and unicorns. That is never the case. And once you solve one set of problems, you will get a new set of problems. Whether you like that or not, it just will happen. So often we think about solving our problems would just get us to this place where everything is better. So if I could just lose those 10 kilos, or if I could make $100,000, then all my money problems will be solved. But what other problems will I have? So there's no place where you arrive, where you will feel good all of the time and where your problems go away. That place does not exist. So I don't want you to think about something. I want you to be patient, basically. I want you to feel that by letting things take their time and working a process, you will arrive at your goal, but it doesn't mean that the problems will go away. Because if you think that once you have lost 10 kilos, let's say, you will feel better, and you get there and you have other problems and you don't actually feel better. You lost the weight, but so what? That didn't make you happy as you thought it would be. It's really, really easy to embrace that emotional pain and then just reject it again. And the easiest thing to do is, probably for many of us, maybe hide behind food. Or maybe you start doing something else. Maybe you start smoking, or you sit and scroll Facebook all day. You're basically wasting your life hiding from those negative emotions and the disappointment of not getting to where you wanted to be. Because you reached your goal, but you didn't get the reward that you expected to get. So I know I've been talking about this a lot, but I want you to welcome your negative emotions. I want you to know that without the negative, there wouldn't be any positive. So I allow myself to feel my negative emotions, and I allow them to make me stronger. Now, this is not always easy to do, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I can do that all of the time, but I'm aware of it and I'm working on it, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't go so well. But that's also part of life. We have to give ourselves, we have to be patient with ourselves and let ourselves actually work these things out. So sometimes it can help to just have some sort of mantra almost. So whatever that could be for you. I'm freezing, I'm cold, but I do have a roof over my head, for example. And a lot of the time, it's like, you might think that it's a curse to have all this food around you, but there are lots of people that don't have food around them. Their main problem is that they don't have food. Your main problem is that you have too many choices when it comes to food, and that you have such easy access to food that you can overeat. So both your problem and the other person's problems are around food, but the opposite. So maybe you could be grateful that you have this opportunity, and then from a place of being grateful that you do have access to food, that is not your problem, because I personally think that I'd rather have the problem of taking care of my emotions to manage my cravings than not having the option to eat whenever I need to eat. Sometimes I fast on purpose, and that's one thing, but I can always go and get food if I need it. So I'm not starving, I'm not scared that I will never get food again. Maybe you want to think about, however pissy things are right now, you have clean drinking water. Not everyone in the world has that. There are a lot of things that we could be grateful for, and that I think sometimes we're so locked into the way that we have grown up. So I've grown up, I've always had roof over my head, I've always had food on my plate, and I've had the basics taken care of. But not everyone has that. So it's so easy to just take those things for granted. And then we are suffering because we are eating too much. To someone that doesn't have food or clean drinking water, that might sound ridiculous. But it's a real problem. And I know this. I know it's a massive problem, or it was a massive problem for me. Nowadays, not so much. I know how to take care of that. But even I have failed along the road, and I expect that I will probably stumble again at some point and probably eat more of what I was going to eat, or someone will have something additional to what I had planned on eating, and I will have that. I'm sure that will happen. But that's okay. It's part of the process, and I'm not really in a hurry. So this is what I'm trying to live. I say trying because sometimes I do take things for granted, and I do wish that things were a bit different, or that I had more money so that I could fix those problems that I have now with the bathroom that I need to redo and so on. I'm human. That's just what we do. And we also look at other people, and often we envy people for what they have or what we think that they have. So we think that they have a better life than us because they have a nice new car, or they seem to be so happy in their marriage and we are not, or they are slim and I'm not, and so on. And the thing is that they also have problems. They might not have the same problems that you have, but they do have problems because everyone does. So now, what if you could consider life being a gift to you, something that you could use to have fun? What if life was just for having fun? And I'm not saying this as a that you should just not care about your responsibilities or whatever, but what if you could make that more fun? Even going to work, could you make that fun? And having a disagreement with someone, could you see that as kind of having fun in a way? I know that most of us do not like arguing with people, but if life was just something that you were given to play around with and have fun with, how could you change how you're thinking around certain things? That might be a little bit, over the top of your head right now, and it might be a little bit hard to grasp. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert at it, because often when we are in the middle of an argument or something, it's really hard to kind of perceive it as something fun to do. But when you're on your deathbed, are you going to think about that argument that you had then? Or are you more going to think about the things that you maybe have achieved in life that was fun and feel like you were complete because you did those things that you wanted to do? So if you could just move beyond the drama up in your head and not take things too seriously. I have roof over my head, all is good. I'm dry even if it's raining outside. I'm good. So when I was mentioning this about you feel complete, I think most of us, we have a sense of never, or feeling incomplete, and that we're not good enough, and that we have to do something or be something to feel complete or be good enough. So whether that is, I need to marry my dream partner to feel complete. That's a very common one. Somehow we think that without that perfect partner, we are incomplete. So we're constantly looking for solutions outside of ourselves to these things, and we're hoping that these things are going to solve our problems so that we can feel complete. And somehow, I don't think there are many people that can say that I married this dream person of my life, he or she made me complete, and now I'm happy all of the time. I don't think that exists. Unfortunately. That would be cool if it did, but we're not going to feel good all the time. And for those of us who solve these problems, for those of us who have solved huge problems, that, like with the cravings and quitting sugar for me, I can assure you that there is no sense of completeness. I do go on about how happy I am to have got to where I am, and how amazing it is to have all of this brain energy and the clear mind and the focus on other things that I think are important, and that that I could achieve in life. So I have much more focus on doing that. However, I would never want to go back. However, I still have problems. And now I could perceive my last failure, for example, when I had planned on eating ice cream. I was actually going to make a video about this, but I had planned on eating ice cream, and then I just ended up eating ice cream for a much longer period of time than I had planned. Plus, I added some other sugar as well because it was there. I could beat myself up about that. I can see that as a failure and I will never succeed and I'm a fraud. But I'm not going to see myself that way because I think that it's a process and I am in control most of the time. I lost control temporarily when I had allowed myself to have an exception. And that was not what I wanted to do, but that was what happened. And that's fine. So if you excuse me 1 second, I'm going to turn this light on because it's starting to get quite dark outside. Just saw that I'm slowly disappearing on the camera. So where was I? So if I was beating myself up about this, I would just probably be more inclined to keep eating sugar and other things because it would make me more depressed and more down about it. And there's no upside to it. None whatsoever. So if you're one of those people that always try to eliminate the your problems and your negative feelings, I want to ask you, why do you think that our lives or our problems should be eliminated from our lives? Why do you think that this has no place in our lives? This is quite an interesting and important question because most of us probably haven't thought about it. It's just the way we grow up. As soon as a child is crying, an adult will come and ask, what's wrong? As if something has to be wrong when we are in pain, whether that is physical pain or emotional pain. It's not wrong. If you break a leg, you're meant to be in pain because you're not supposed to walk on it, then you can't heal. And the same thing goes with emotional pain. Maybe you're meant to have that emotional pain. Maybe it is good for something. I think definitely it's good for to provide contrast so that you can feel the good emotions as well. So no matter who you are, where you're at, whether you're rich, you're poor, you have a good marriage, you're single maybe, whether you're employed, you're unemployed, you will have different problems, but we all have problems. So rather than fighting your negative emotions around your problems, if you could just accept that this is what life is supposed to be like and it will always be like this without judgment. So we can accept that we have negative emotions without thinking negatively about them. They are just emotions and we are supposed to have them because when we do, we will also be able to feel the positive ones. So this is something I want you to think about. If every obstacle in your life or every obstacle to achieving whatever goal you may have, if that is quitting sugar, if you can create a solution to each obstacle and overcome that problem, then you will reach your goal. It is that simple. There might be 100 obstacles in the way to reaching that goal, but if you are solving each and every one of those, you will reach your goal. It is actually that simple. So reaching that goal might feel really good. It might make you feel really good in the moment. It might make you feel proud of yourself, and all of those emotions are valid and you absolutely should feel them. However, just know that with that, now you're rid of some problems, you're going to get new ones. And accept that. Don't let the new problems discourage you from achieving things that you want to achieve in life. Okay? I really mean that. I mean, you have the you always have the option of not achieving things because some of us might not want to achieve anything in life, or we might already have achieved everything that we want to achieve, and that's fine. It's up to you. So if we can just stop resisting half of our lives, basically, and embrace them and stop being afraid of the emotional pain, we will be able to actually live our lives as they are meant to be. You are able to experience your whole life and not just part of it. Because every time you hide behind food or alcohol or just binge watching Netflix, you're scrolling on Facebook or you're on YouTube or whatever, you are escaping reality. You are missing out on your own life and you're in this dream world, if it's in a movie, or you're just dulling your emotions behind a lot of dopamine release when you're eating lots of food, and then you'll feel pretty bad afterwards. But if we could just feel those negative emotions and accept them for what they are, we will be able to experience the whole experience of living a life. So I know I'm always talking about this, but have you actually really asked yourself why you choose to go unconscious and eat rather than staying present? And my answer is, as always, most likely because you do not want to feel those negative emotions. It's a way for us to press an escape button and escape our lives. And the more you push this button, the more you miss out of life. And the more you push this button, the harder it's going to be, the harder your life is going to feel, and the more you're going to want to push this button as a result. So it's a vicious circle that just reinforcing itself. Because every time you come back from binge eating, whatever, you feel pretty crap. And you're more likely to want to eat because this is the solution to feeling that crap. So the truth is that when you can accept your negative emotions, they will feel much less painful. So think about this. What do you think is so awful and important to avoid is just your life. Because our emotions are our life. And when you think about it that way, it sounds really silly. But this is sort of an aha moment for me myself. So whenever I'm hiding behind food, what I'm actually hiding from is my life. So rather than making my life better or in a way that I want my life to be, I'm just hiding and I'm procrastinating this process of improving the things that I might want to improve in my life and have a different set of problems, which is not escaping from my life. So something that I was thinking about was, what is the alternative to feeling emotional pain? What is it when you don't feel emotional pain? And a person that doesn't feel emotional pain, that is the definition of a sociopath, okay? And hopefully you don't want to be a sociopath. I definitely don't want to be a sociopath. So just imagine not having these negative emotions. Imagine that someone close to you is passing away and you don't feel grief. And you can't love people because you cannot relate to people. You don't have these emotions. You can't feel love for another human being. And you might think, oh, maybe that's not so bad because then I don't have to be heartbroken if something happens, if they pass away or they break up or they cheat on me or whatever. Sure. But we're always entering all sort of relationships, whether they be love relationships or other relationships, with the knowledge that something could happen to this person and you might have to experience grief when you lose them. And we're willing to pay that price because feeling the love and the connection and the joy when we are connecting with these people is so worth it. So just think about that. We want to have both sides of it so that we can feel that balance, so that we can feel both of them. So if you're dulling your negative emotions, what is happening is that you're also dulling your positive ones. And that has a lot to do with your inability to react in a normal way to the dopamine in the reward center in the brain. you will no longer feel joy the same way as if you weren't addicted to, let's say, sugar. Because you have messed up your dopamine receptors in your brain. They have downregulated. They are not responding in an optimal way. They need this huge dopamine release to give you that pleasure. So whereas you're taking away the negative emotions somewhat, although you experience them more when you stop eating, you're also taking away a lot of the positive ones. It's hard to enjoy life in the same way as you are meant to be, as you're created to do, if you are consistently indulging in a lot of food or something else. So just know that life is not meant to be just sunshine and unicorns. We never ever have to rush to solve a problem to get to a better place, because there is no better place. We can solve our problems, but we will get a new set of problems to solve once we get there. So take your time with whatever it is. This is what I'm doing with my cravings. I have it mostly under control. I'm still, as I've said multiple times, I'm still choosing to eat sugar every now and then in a controlled manner. I'm expecting that maybe in a couple of years' time, maybe I will not want to eat sugar anymore. I'm not there yet. I'm not going to try and force it. I'm not going to try and push it. I'm going to let this journey play out the way it's supposed to play out. And I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing now. I'm totally content with what I'm doing right now. I don't need to push it. So just think about that. Don't be in a rush to solve your problems, because you will get new problems. All you're doing if you do that is that you're going to burn yourself out, probably. I'm an expert in this topic because I'm very, very impatient, and I always want to solve every single problem as quickly as possible. And I'm really, really working on letting things take their time now. And it actually feels pretty good, I must say. And I never thought I would say such a thing, but yeah, it does. So you can always choose. You can choose to have the same type of problems your whole life, as in you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to solve your problems, you can just be, and you can keep having the same problems, which, if you're watching this, one of your problems is probably that you're overeating sugar or something else. And you can choose to have this as being your only problem for the rest of your life, or only, I say, but a major one. Or you can move past that and you can get a new set of problems. So for me, that is building my business and doing all these things with my business that I don't enjoy doing. What I enjoy doing is connecting with people and helping people. When I have the money, I'll have someone else taking care of all the techie bits, and I'll just do the things that I enjoy. But I imagine that at that point, I will have new problems that I don't have right now. So maybe I will have problems with my staff taking care of them because they don't do it the way I want them to do it, or something else. There are always problems popping up. So I'm always going to choose to find new problems. I think this makes life so much more interesting, and I get to achieve a lot of things in between my problems. Things that I can be proud of, things that I enjoy, things that kind of light me up and gives me that positive feelings. And then I will have my problems again to bring me down back to earth is the other 50% of the time. So when you can just relax into your negative emotions without pressing this escape button, you will be able to remain conscious and experience your life as it is supposed to be and for what it is. So my advice to you is that you just practice this and just get to grips with what I've been saying, that maybe life is more 50-50. Maybe we're meant to have the negative emotions because then we will be able to feel the positive ones. And this is actually a really bloody good thing, I think. So what I want for you and what I want for me is just that we get to be present and experience life for what it is. And yeah, that's what I want for you too. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this has made sense to you. And if you have any questions in a week or a little bit more, I'm probably going to have a live sessions for all my members in Life Without Cravings. So if you're not a member yet, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will find the link to the free membership down in the description to this video. You can just sign up there and log in, and you will find all the details about the live call there. You can come online, you can ask me any sort of questions with regards to cravings or on the material that I am presenting during September. Also, please like this video on YouTube, subscribe, help other people find this material, and maybe we can transform the world. We can get everyone to actually choose what they want to eat consciously. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week. Bye.